Welcome back to the Talk of the Town podcast. Another episode here with Dunstable Town manager Steve O'Reilly on a Thursday night at training. Steve-O, difficult week for the club, mate. How's it been this past week? We were speaking just before we started recording. We had a tough time at the start of the season, losing 6 games of football. But the football side, you can kind of control. How's it been this past week, mate, post the Crawley Green game?
Yeah, look, it's clearly been tough, and I think that the club have put out the statement that they needed to and that we needed to. So I think that kind of covers that side of it. But yeah, it's been tough. There are things that ideally you don't have to face with and deal with as a team, but adversity comes in many shapes and many forms, and I think it's kind of just how you respond to that that's then very important. And it's been difficult, but this club sticks together and we support each other and in those moments, and that's what we've done this week. And it's been nice. Tuesday night was also nice to focus on the football, and I'm sure we'll touch on that and what a good result that was for us. And it's been difficult, but we're here tonight. We're about doing football again tonight, and then that's what we'll focus on. And the rest of the stuff, there's a process that has to happen for that. That'll happen, and then we'll move forward.
When you get these kind of adversities and whatever happens in football, in a weird kind of way, does it bring the group closer together?
It can. I think that I often say to the players, and you may have heard me say it before, you kind of know how good a teammate you are kind of when it's tough times. And I think that you see that. But I expect this team to stick together and to back each other in terms of, like I say, that's what football's about. When we get out of the pitch, and you saw that on Tuesday night. And look, we had difficult moments early in the season at different points in time, football related and results related, and we found our way through that. The character in the group now is not something that I need to question really. And we've got some leaders in there that are kind of like, your Alfies who've come in as leaders, and, that's how they are when they've kind of rejoin the club, obviously in Alfie's instance. But you see other lads now who've actually, you young lads still, who've grown up and actually developed into leaders in the team, and those are important. But
you learn more about players. It's like, as this week goes on, have you learnt more about your players and your squad? Like you say, we've faced adversity at the start of the season. When something like this happens, and what will be will be. We're not, that's not for me to comment on what's going on outside with like investigations and stuff. But do you learn more about the lads, like post the game Saturday night, and we got to Tuesday and we had to go and play a game of football. And I thought we'd done that really well.
Yeah, you never stop learning. You never stop learning about them, and that's not just because some of them are young lads. That's just because football and life throws you different challenges all the time. So you're constantly going to be learning about players. They're learning about us, and everyone's learning about each other. Like that's the nature of being a team and being close together with each other. That you are going to learn those things, and those players and individuals. We've learned every step along the way this season, and we've learned from defeat. Bit too often at times at the start of the season. We had to learn about that, but we've had other challenges as a club as well. Lost people very important to the club at different moments in time during the season. And you see the way that the club kind of pulls together in those moments and supports each other. I see that in the playing group as well. Those are characteristics that we see. And you see that actually then embodied in terms of how we play on the pitch. Sometimes it's not always easy. I'd like it to be easier on the pitch at times and be a little bit more comfortable for us in terms of winning games more easily. But, we seem to be able to find a way, at the moment pretty consistently in terms of finding ways to get results. And like I say, that's not necessarily by playing great football. It's sometimes about showing a bit of character and a bit of togetherness and finding ways to go and get results. And, that's obviously a big thing for us as well. We want to make sure that, we keep a focus on the football as well, and make sure that we're trying to get as many points as possible as well.
Focusing on Tuesday a bit more, obviously we went over to Bulldog, 1-1-0. I thought Bulldog gave us a really good game of football. Really good setup over there at Bulldog, really young team that we come up against. Not the greatest game of football from our point of view, but does that show how far we've come? I think you mentioned, and we had a little chat after the game, you said if that was at the start of the season, and we done it. We lost too many games here against Bulldog. It's like kind of a reversal of what they've done to us. We nicked a 1-0 win, really good, well taken goal by Liam. What are your does that show to you how far this squad's now come? We've at the start of the season, we did lose that game. It's not, oh, we would have lost. We did lose it. Now you look at where we come, undefeated at home since September. This group has really come a long way, mate.
Yeah, I think, you know, in terms of like showing how far we've come, I think that's the case, but it's probably going to get to a stage where we're not even going to say that anymore, because it's the case where, as you say, we've been doing it pretty consistently now for a while. And, you know, my expectation is actually that we deliver well and we go and get results. And, you know, it's a fair comparison. Like I say, I mentioned it, and you know, I still said on Tuesday night we created a lot of opportunities still, and we could have put some away and made it more comfortable. But like you say, full credit to the Bulldog team. They're a highly energetic team. They make it difficult for you. They've got some good technical players who, you know, got good pedigree. So, you know, with those types of players, you know, you're always going to be on your game. You have to be on your game. Yeah, maybe we've just got a little bit more steel now, maybe than maybe we had earlier in the season in terms of finding the way to go and get results. But yeah, as I said, I expect us now to go and get results. That's by no means that's all. You know, if you just expect to go and get results, you're going to kind of come unstuck very quickly. It's about reinforcing the kind of good behaviours and the good play and the things that we need to do to get results. I think that Tuesday night we didn't do that great. I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't think that it was anywhere near our best, but you know, in the context of, let's say, that, you know, the bit of the week that we've had, you know, it was good. It sounds a small thing, but it was our first away midweek win on a Tuesday night. You know, it does sound ridiculous to say that, but those are little hurdles that you have to tick off as a team. And I certainly know that, you know, from my experiences playing, but also obviously coaching at Harpenden as well, Tuesday night away games are a test for any team at this level of football. You know, lads are working away. You know, Alfie will tell you that he was in Somerset.
He
didn't mention it now, but you know, you've got those types of challenges on a Tuesday night, and then you're kind of getting lads there. A lot of the time, your preparation time gets really congested. You know, you're trying to squeeze everything in, but you know, you've got lads arriving at different moments in time. You know, need to see physios. You've got like, it impacts your warm up. Everything that it changes on a Tuesday night. You know, we spoke when our first interview that I don't have any excuses. I never believe in excuses. There's just kind of reasons why things happen, and there's things that we have to overcome. But, you know, that's a hurdle that you've got to kind of overcome. And, you know, we've seen it here. Teams, you know, good teams have come here on a Tuesday night, and we've been able to give them, you know, good games and get results against them because it's difficult. So that was a good thing for us to be able to do. And it was a challenge I actually, you know, put to the players before the game. That's, you know, something that we've got to achieve. And it does sound minor, but, you know, I want to keep putting little things in front of these boys to kind of challenge them and say, okay, well, you know, we haven't achieved anything yet. You know, we haven't been super successful. We've made progress, but there's lots of other things that we have to do before we can even consider ourselves, you know, a good team at this level. But we're making positive steps. Another clean sheet. You know, we've had, I think, 9 now this season, and again, we don't want to get a lot more. But if you can context of where we started from that, I think really, you know, certainly since Alfie came in alongside Jamie, particularly as a partnership, we don't concede an awful lot of goals. We had, you know, the goals we conceded kind of in clumps. You know, obviously 6 at MK Irish and 3 at Cottfosters, but outside of that, you know, teams generally find it pretty hard to score against us. Those are all good things as well that set you up to be able to win games of football. And then, you know, Liam took his goal that he probably deserved. You know, he's probably had more chances across the other games, but he took the one that really mattered on Tuesday night.
Are we getting to a stage now? We've got 4 games left. We mentioned their progress and development. Are we getting, like you said to me a minute ago, we're getting past that stage now where we're expected to go and win some of these games? Like you said to me on last Thursday when we were chatting, undefeated at home since September. So the word progress and development, I think you're right. It kind of goes that way now. And we're kind of getting to the stage where, no, Dunstable Town are now expected to go and win. And I think that's testament to you guys and to the players on the pitch.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, I want the expectation. I don't shy away from it, and I don't want the players to shy away from it. It is a different feeling though, and you know, there were moments, and there has been moments even recently, but earlier on in the season where I don't think we really handled that change in kind of expectation when you're going into the game. You know, when you'd lost the first 6 games, and you know, up until really probably until the turn of the year, we were in one of those very lower places in the league, either bottom obviously at the start, or, you know, 15th, 16th, 14th. You're the underdog, you know. You know, in almost every game you go into, you're the underdog, and the weight of the pressure and the expectations on the opposition. You know, I for a long time though now felt that we should be going and getting results in as many games as possible, but it is a change in mentality, and it's kind of human nature to think, oh well, we've got a result against these, should we be able to go and get a result against them? It's kind of that ability to be able to look at each game independently, but knowing, like I say, I want people to come to games here and expect us to win. I want people to be excited about what this team can do. Our league position is improving. It can be a lot better. But given the context of everything in terms of where we started, it has really improved. I want people to kind of look at it, and I want the players to feel, actually we can really achieve something here in the long run. Me, in terms of, we'll go out there and train tonight, and if a standard slip, or, that we're not in the right frame of mind, and, we're not doing the right things, I'll pull us up on it, because, there's certainly no getting carried away. We are making progress. We're moving in the right direction. But we haven't achieved anything major. We've made little hurdles and little accomplishments and things that, we should be pleased about, and are good signs of progress. But we're all here to achieve something big at the club. Now we're not going to do that this season, because, we haven't kind of put ourselves in position to, obviously the way that we started. But it doesn't mean that we're not putting the foundations in to try and do that longer term.
Yeah, just finishing up, Steve. Obviously, Potton coming into town this weekend. It's National Non-League Day as well, so a big day for non-league clubs all in the local area and up and down the land. Always a competitive game against Potton. We went over there, and I think I said to you at the time when we went over there and won, that was one of our best performances up to that date of the season. We sat down, and me and you chatted after that game. I thought we were tremendous that day. What are you expecting this Saturday from Potton?
Yeah, a tough game. They've picked up some good results recently. A couple of draws, but against Cockfosters and Tring, so two of the top teams in the league. So really creditable results. And you're right in pointing that. I really looked at that game as a bit of a turning point for us when we went back there in October, and really been a bit of a catalyst of the runs that we've been on since. But they've got some quality players, so some that we know quite well or have worked with in the past. But other players they've got here who can cause you a lot of problems. So we're going to have to be really on top of our game for that. We're really hopeful that we're going to get a really good crowd here. It's great for both clubs to manage to get this game on non-league day. I think they were due to come here on a Tuesday night at the start of April. So this is the better scenario for everyone, I think, in terms of that. Look, we're going to have to approach it in the way that we want to go and get the result. We're right next to each other in the league. So, if we want to finish as high as possible. So today, going into Saturday, that'll be a big step towards doing that if we're able to get a result. But we know, we're going to have to perform at a high level in order to be able to do that.
Steve-O, as always, mate, thanks for your time. And that's been a difficult week for you, mate, but I really do appreciate it.
Thomas,
cheers, mate.
Thank you.